I'm Michael Chime, CEO of Prepared. We've curated a panel of 911 experts to facilitate a discussion about the challenges that they're facing and how Prepared is helping them solve them. Okay, all right, I'm so excited for this conversation. Just to tee it up, one of the things that Prepared really wants to do is open up the space for these types of dialogues. We like to think of ourselves as partners, not just a vendor. And to be a partner, I think you really need to understand the folks that you work with, the problems that they face, sit next to them and try to solve them. And what we're going to talk about today, I think, is one of the biggest problems 911 centers face, and that's rising call volume, right? And the tax that puts on your people and you guys. But before we jump in, we'd love to just do quick intros so they can get to know you. So, Julie, you want to kick us off?
Sure. Hi, I'm Julie Korn. I'm from Onondaga County, New York. We have about 150 people that work at our center. We take about 500,000 calls per year, and we're a nationally accredited agency.
Wow, congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Scott Brillman, I'm the director of Fairfax 911. That's right outside of DC, Fairfax, Virginia. We're the largest 911 center in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We have about 250 heroes that work in the center, and we take about 1.2 million calls a year.
Awesome.
And my name is Wayne Harris. I am the operations manager for Baltimore City. In Baltimore City, we take 1.4 million calls a year, and we are the busiest center in the state of Maryland.
Well, okay. All right. Well, like I said, I think the goal of this conversation is just to hear from each of you on rising call volume and the challenges that that's creating for 911 today. And of course, we'd love to talk about solutions, things we might be able to do. But can you talk a little bit about that? Where's call volume at today? How are you doing with staffing? What are some of the challenges you're facing?
Yeah, you said it right there. Actually, I was going to say the challenge of volume, you can't really talk about without the challenge of staffing.
Yeah.
And so for us, I don't think the volume has changed that much. When we look at the stats every year, our county is pretty stagnant in terms of size. We are going to have an influx of people with some industries that are coming in the future, so we're keeping an eye on that. But for us, it's been staffing. And as those numbers have gone down since COVID, we've just seen a trend, and you've seen it across the country with 911 centers, with people not necessarily wanting to do these 24/7 type of jobs anymore. So recruitment has been a big impetus,
big push.
and we're seeing those numbers finally go up. But it's kind of how can you work smarter, not harder, instead of just putting a lot of people at the problem.
Staffing used to be the biggest challenge, but I think our non-emergency calls are the biggest challenge of our generation now.
Yeah.
And we hire men and women to be lifesavers, and we train them to be critical thinkers. And when they get on the floor now to take calls, they're handling emergency calls, but they're handling tons of non-emergency calls.
Yeah.
Our hold times are our number one complaint for non-emergency calls, and we're working with Prepared to try to tackle that. This issue is probably the biggest problem across the country. In Fairfax County, our non-emergency calls have surpassed our emergency calls.
Yeah, that's a common trend.
It's a common trend across the country, whether you're a large center or a small center.
Yeah.
And we really need to get back to focusing on these crises, these emergencies, because minutes count and seconds count.
Yeah, of course. Okay, Wayne, off to you.
I think I agree with both aspects of that. I think in Baltimore, for the first time in probably 20 years, we're actually at capacity. Like, we just made a large hiring group. But it's also a thing of training them to get to the level that our veteran call takers and specialists are at, which that takes time. So being at capacity now, going into the summer months, the busier time of the year, doesn't necessarily help in that aspect. And then we have a functioning 311 center that takes over 1 million calls a year. So you think about the calls that we take, the calls that they take, we're probably taking about 2 million non-emergency calls per year between both agencies. So that alone takes away from the things that we could be doing to help mitigate violence, to help mitigate emergencies, being able to step into emergent situations, being able to do different things. So what our directors always stress is to think outside the box. Think beyond sitting in this seat. Think beyond the capability that you currently have. And that's where you guys come in, because we do some different things now.
Absolutely.
And it's exciting.
Yeah, we're about to talk about solutions. I'd love your guys' thoughts on that. Julie, do you experience hold times too? Is that a problem you guys face?
We do. And we're working with our partners as well, in addition to vendors like Prepared, to figure out this problem. I mean, the police side, they want to get back to fighting crime. our first responders on the EMS side, I mean, they want to respond to calls that are true medical emergencies. So when we can use products that help us and diversion systems that can help us, everybody wins.
Okay, well, let's show it, Scott. I've been working with Scott and Wayne and Julie, we're talking a lot about this too, on what do we do about this problem, right? And I think, like I was saying, I think there's very clear right now low-hanging fruit for AI and technology. And this is one where you're experiencing a lot of pain. It's not really the job. Like, you didn't train 911 operators to handle noise complaints. You train them to handle emergencies. Same on the law enforcement side, right? That's the job. That's why you got into it. And so if we have the technology today that's low latent, high performant, can actually have an empathetic ear to somebody in that situation. Certainly not in 911. Let's focus the critical resources on those calls, but we can offload a lot of volume. So really excited that we're working with each of you on this. And so let's show everyone how it works. Okay, Scott, let's do it together.
Let's try it
So
out.
I'll play the role of, you could have a call taker or some supervisor reviewing this. So you'll see on my side what the PSAP could see. And then Scott's going to play the lovely role of our caller. And so go ahead and call in.
Hello, I'm the AI assistant for Prepared. I hope you all are having a wonderful discussion. I can handle important tasks like noise complaints or parking tickets. How can I assist you today?
There's a pothole.
I can help with that. Can you please provide the location of the pothole?
123 Broadway Street in New York.
Okay, that's 123 Broadway Street in New York. Do you know the zip code for that location?
11101.
Okay, that's 11101. Just to confirm, you are calling to report a pothole at 123 Broadway Street, New York, New York, 11101. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I've logged that. First, about how deep and how wide is the pothole?
It's 2 feet wide and 3 feet deep.
Okay, that's 2 feet wide and 3 feet deep. Do you think it presents a serious road hazard for drivers?
Yes.
Okay. Whereabouts is this road issue located?
It's in the middle of the road.
Okay. It's in the middle of the road. Do you have an address near the road issue?
I don't.
Okay, no problem. And what's your name?
Scott Brillman.
Okay, that's Scott Brillman. What's your callback number?
410-555-1212.
Okay, that's 410-555-1212. So just to confirm, I have Scott Brillman calling to report a pothole at 123 Broadway Street, New York, New York, 11101. The pothole is 2 feet wide and 3 feet deep, located in the middle of the road. You believe it presents a serious road hazard. Your callback number is 410-555-1212. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I have filed a report with the Road Commission. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you for your call. Have a nice day.
Scott, what'd you think?
I felt like I was getting instant service. I was talking to a human, and it took care of my issue.
Yeah, that's awesome. What does that mean for your centers, something like this?
Oh, that's huge. I mean, I think people want the feeling of talking to a human, but at the end, they just want the result. So
Yeah.
if it is a human, or if you're getting a result from something that is equally of value and can do the same thing, you get to the same goal.
Yeah, and it understood me.
Right,
It did.
right. It's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching it right there. It was, yeah.
So
Very-
you two, you aren't using it yet, right?
Not yet, no.
No.
So in Baltimore,
Okay, here we go.
we have it. We have it. It's active. We're using it. Spanish caller's call. He speaks Spanish.
It does, yeah.
It translates right on the screen.
It's great.
The transcript, if it's real time and it's in progress, he transfers the call right to an operator. So the things that you would typically get hung up about with an AI or an assistant or anything like that, it doesn't exist. And when I say we tested it to the depths of the ends of earth, we tested it for 20 hours straight. We put it through the ringer, from everything from a shooting to I lost my wallet to I can't find my cat. And it did everything that you would expect it to do in real time. So it's still a new technology. It's still things that we can improve, of course. But the more we use it, the more the comfortability of the citizen call engine. So I can talk about how we actually put it into functionality when we did the event. We designated one of our call takers to watch the triage. So anytime something wound up in triage, it was that call taker's responsibility So open the triage, read the transcript, put it in CAD.
Yep.
Now, what's good about this is, one, we have the recording,
Yep.
we have the transcript, we have the insight. So we have everything that we have in our prepared package as part of this particular logger. So it changes the way we can envision those things being processed.
Yeah. I think you hit on two important things. One is, okay, now you're excited about this. You want to use it. You're a center. What happens? Like, how do we actually operationalize this? And I think there's two that we're seeing, or it could be both. You could do both of those things together. One is you have a person that goes in, and their job is to review each of these, right?
Yep.
So you go in, you review it, and then again, when we talk about technology and people together, you still have human judgment deciding what action to ultimately take.
Exactly.
So I go in, I say, hey, this needs review. I go down, I can open up the summary of it. I could add a note. I can see caller history, so I can see if they called 5 times in the last week. So I get all this information in a bird's eye view. And then if it's like, okay, this needs thrown into CAD, I'm going to create a call for service. You could do that. Or if it's like, hey, it already put it into the system, I just need to send a text back. You could also just have it do the text back. So you really decide, where does the person go in? Where does the technology come in? Which is really, really important. So you can have one person. But again, you're freeing up a lot of people. So like right now, I have 30 in here. So one person is managing 30 calls all at once, right? And you're still keeping and retaining that human element, which I think is really important. And then the second thing that you mentioned was just, or the second option here is that you have technology do more, right? We see a world where you could just enter it into CAD, or our system could just enter it into CAD, or send the text back. And we're thinking about, what is the next 5 years going to look like? I think that it's really important that all of these AI applications sit in one tool, right? And we're trying to go out and build that. Because one, you already have 8 screens, or 9 screens, however many screens you have. And I think if we're not careful around AI, you could have 20. It's just like, oh, now I have QA and I have non-emergency and I have all these things. So I hope that this consolidates things, not makes it worse. But then also, AI is only as good as the data you give it, right? So you want it to really have visibility across all of the data sources. So let's like run through an example. Let's say that call comes in to the non-emergency line, turns out to be an emergency. They're like, all right, there's a party right next to me. I'm going up to the door, and then the guy wants to fight, right? This is an emergency situation, and it transfers it. Well, wouldn't you want it to transfer the same system? And right, we're already transcribing the calls. That call taker that now gets this call transferred from us will have the transcript of the non-emergency interaction, and we'll say, oh, I already know they're fighting, and they were started over a noise complaint, and they don't have to start fresh in that situation. So these things really need to be interoperable, in my opinion. So,
The great thing is that jurisdictions and 911 centers starting out, they have options. They don't have to. They can trickle into this.
I totally agree, Scott. And we're doing all that today. Wayne could probably talk about it.
Yes, we are. I mean, we already have location services on the insights.
Yeah.
It's already summarizing the call. It's already transcribing. So when in our center, if we transfer from a supervisor to an operator or vice versa, they get everything that was said in the transcript. So there's no loss of service. There's no loss of info. Everything that you said is there. No one is repeating questions. No one's double checking anything anymore. Like it's streamlined what we do so much. Like it saved us time on calls. The QA aspect, we actually improved our QA scores by like 20%, which if anybody knows the story of Baltimore, that is huge.
Yeah. And one more thing I want to hit on, I'd love each of yours perspective, is so it reduces hold times to 0. So you're not going to have hold times, right? It also focuses the human resource on what's critical, 911, right? That's what they were trained to do. But another thing I keep hearing is you're just seeing retention be a huge issue because of burnout, right? You're just constantly taking calls.
The mental health, it's becoming a crisis, and we're starting to recognize that for our centers. I mean, the stress level is just undeniable. And how do we tackle that? So to have these kind of tools to think differently, I think is great. I mean, most of the time when people do take a tough call, they want to step away, but maybe they can't because they know of the staffing levels. And it puts extra pressure on them to keep doing the job, and if we could give them one after another, and that's why that's such perpetual stress is so hard. So to be able to give them that break it's huge, and it's the right thing to do.
What would you say to a center that's apprehensive about it? Because it seems so clear to me, like, hey, we have rising call volumes.
I love this question. I love this question because it's something we've been talking about for the past couple of days, right? For the last, what was it, about 7-8 years now, Scott? People have been talking about next generation 911. I can't wait for next generation 911. Well, guess what? Next generation 911 is here. This is next generation 911. And Scott's new term, what is this, Scott?
I say we have to evolve. We have to continue to evolve.
That is the evolution
Yeah,
of 911.
this is the evolution.
Next generation is here. Everything that we're doing right now is next generation. From however we answering calls, the technologies and the softwares that we're using to help facilitate those calls. But now it's the evolution of that technology and those softwares. If we're not using them, who's going to help them evolve? So if you're apprehensive now, today, think about how it was 5-6 years ago, and even down to MAT data. That's changed tremendously in the last year. If you could start it today, and you help it evolve to what you need it to be, why not?
Yeah, but Wayne, they'll say like, I don't know about AI, man. Yeah.
AI is the future.
Yeah.
If you use your cell phone, you use AI.
Yeah.
If you order an Amazon package,
Yeah.
you're using AI.
Yeah.
If you order your food through Grubhub, you're using AI. AI is here. AI isn't going anywhere. AI is part of what our fabric of life right now. If you use any type of technology down to your television, you're likely using AI.
And one of my answers to this too is it's like the sequencing and the placement matters a lot. Where we actually decide to utilize the tool. No one here is saying priority ones, 911 calls, we're going to use this. It doesn't make any sense, right? We're saying that, hey, noise complaints, parking tickets, etc. Let's free up the human, because the human's really great at one thing, being empathetic to the caller. Great at a lot of things, but they're really great at that, right? And we tie them down. They don't actually get to do that thing that they're really good at because we burden them with these non-emergency calls. So it's like, we're not saying, hey, use it on a 911 call. We're saying in a non-emergency situation, we're not gonna have hold times. You now have something that can answer the call instantly, and AI is part of your life. I totally agree with that too. But how would you guys address a center that's apprehensive about something like this?
It's change management. I mean, really, people don't like change, and
Sure.
we've tried other things, and we kind of always hit that challenge right from the beginning. Any kind of change is going to be difficult. It's kind of how you break it down, how you help people understand. And what I love is that there's other people who are already using the product, and when you can see evidence from your peers that have how successful it is, it's just really key. So I think that communication and the relationship building is just great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The 911 industry, it felt like it stood still for 20 years. We need this in our centers to tackle those emergencies and non-emergency calls.
Yeah. First off, the concern about AI comes from a good place. I think you all are thinking about people's worst moments, and you got to handle that well. And there's a lot of scrutiny on that. And so you think deeply about what's the right thing to go and do. But one thing that I say is that it would be a shame if you have that challenge. It's so hard to do, one of the hardest jobs in the world, and that everywhere around you had AI, but they didn't. Like, it's almost worse if we neglect public safety from this innovation of AI, that everyone at home is going to be playing with ChatGPT, yet public safety dispatchers, call takers, etc., aren't even going to have the cloud, aren't even going to have any of these tools, right? And I think it's a very exciting future to live in, one where emergency operators have the best technology. So excited about how it goes.
And I think non-emergency tools will be the standard for the future.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably in the next few years.
Yeah. And I think you hit on such an important point of nobody here is arguing that we should replace the human. In fact, we're saying that we actually may be able to make that person better and focus on the things they're uniquely good at, which is the caller. In a 911 situation where they really need somebody hanging on every single word, giving an empathetic ear, and I think we're going to free them up to do that. But that's very important for people that are listening, is like focus them on emergencies. Where are there limitations that people have? They're just always going to have. And the second is, where are they doing things that they probably shouldn't do? And so on the limitations portion, I'll commonly go into a room full of call takers and I'll be like, all right, show of hands, how many of us speak 30 languages? And I haven't got a hand yet. And I'll say, like, if I do get a hand, you should pay them double. They're like the best call taker ever. But nobody speaks 30 languages. Technology can do that, right? It'd be a shame if we didn't use AI the same way, because it can solve new and interesting problems that we weren't able to solve 2-3 years ago. Like, none of this was even possible a couple of years ago. But today, especially with the load you guys are facing, we can do it. We can do a lot better. And so, Scott, I don't know if you have thoughts on that, but I think that's a very important.
My thought is 911 is the most important connection between the community and public safety.
Yeah.
And are we doing it the right way now? We're not. We're doing it the way we've done it for 20 years, for 30 years.
Yeah.
And now a human is the best for emergencies, but now we have technology to offer us the second best solution to tackle these non-emergency calls. And I think everyone should be moving in this direction.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the conversation. It was really insightful, and it was awesome to hear the challenges that you're facing. And I'm so excited about how we might be able to help solve them.
Well, thank you for having Baltimore. We can't wait to come back and have some more discussions.
Yeah,
Thanks
excited.
for having us. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Thanks.
Awesome. Okay. And for you watching, stay with us. We have more episodes to come, more features. Really excited about what's coming.